One of the very few things that doesn't work on this Hummer right now are these heated seats. Luckily, there's a common fix for these. There's a wire junction right here that the wire gets stressed from big American asses rubbing on it, and it'll break. So we're gonna take this apart and see if we can fix it without buying anything. Or if we need to, we'll just buy a whole new element. Let me show you what mine is doing. So if we go in here, I'm gonna turn the key to the on position and start. I believe this only runs when the vehicle is started. And if you press the button, it turns on and turns off immediately. Does the same if you press the buttons on the passenger side. If your buttons turn on and off like that, it means you have some kind of a fault in your heated seat circuit. Now, it could be a module, but most of the time, it's the element on this driver's side. Us big fat Americans break the wire connections here where they terminate to the heated seat element, and it causes this to get an open circuit. Now let me show you how you can prove that very easily without even taking anything apart. This is the driver's side seat. This is the one that fails most of the time because it's used every time you drive it. If you look, there's a connector here. There's a green plastic tab. If you pry up lightly on this with a screwdriver, this little connector will pop out. Now this is the element right here. If you follow the wire, it goes into the seat cushion. Now what you're gonna do is you're gonna get your multimeter, one probe in this terminal, one probe in that one, and see what resistance you get. Take the connector, and you're gonna put one lead into one terminal, one lead into the other, with it on ohms. And as you can see, I'm getting nothing. Now I'll test my meter. See, the meter is working. But if I put this to the element, I get nothing. It's open circuit. If this seat is working properly, you should get somewhere in the neighborhood of 10 ohms. Getting 0 ohms means it's open line. We're gonna take the seat cushion off and we're gonna see if it's just the most common problem, which is the wires breaking, and we can fix that. Now keep in mind, this heated seat module is real smart. It checks all the circuits, bottom, back, and bottom on each side before it will allow it to turn on any element. If it has an open line or a shorted circuit, it will not allow the heated seats to turn on, period. Whether you're pressing the back, the bottom, it doesn't matter. It tests all these circuits before it will allow it to turn on. The module is located right here. As far as I'm aware, this is the module right here, this little box. Now, luckily, this isn't too hard to take apart, so let's get into it and see what we can find. To start off, I'm gonna remove the screws here, take all this plasticky junk off, and we'll see how we can take it apart. These weird long screws do require a T15 Torx. This thing's kind of a wrestling match. Gotta kind of pry on it and stuff. And there we go. Just kind of get it out of the way, sort of like that, I guess. Now, if you look at how this cushion's on here, it's got a groove. And if you just kind of pull down on it, it'll come out of there, see? Pretty easy, actually, pretty cool design. So we're gonna go around the whole perimeter doing that same thing. As you can see, just gonna kind of pull down on this. It'll make a mess. We'll have to vacuum the car out, but that's okay. Let's see. Not a big deal. Just be gentle. Don't be rough on it. You'll break it. I guarantee it. Okay, now after some wrestling, you just gotta work with it. It's pretty obvious. Just work with it. Be gentle. Don't tear the leather. If you look back here, you will see the wire comes in here. Now I'm gonna do a slight little cut right here below all this, because the termination should be somewhere around here for the wire. Now all I did was very lightly score this and then peel it back. Look what I found right there. There's the little crimp terminal. Wire has broken off. So I'm gonna see if we can re-solder this, get a better connection. So to get this loose, just lightly cut around here, just very slightly score it with the razor blade, pull it off, and as you can see, there's a little crimp terminal. Now, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna actually solder this, get a really good joint going, and we're gonna hot glue the piss out of it so this doesn't happen again. Because what it is, this little tiny wire is what broke off. But before we go through all that work, I'm just gonna hook these up temporarily, and we're gonna see if that fixes the problem. Here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna strip this back. Actually strip it back pretty far. And, come on, there we go. Get that trash out of there. Now I've got some heat shrink, and I'm gonna make this as long as I can possibly make it so I can reinforce the wire with it. So, looks like that length should be enough. I'm gonna twist the wires up. You can always put this on first, a little easier, but I am going to slide this over here so I don't forget it, because if this joint works, I'll just solder it the way that it is. I'm going to remove that little crimp at the end there, because we aren't going to use that anymore. Okay, I'll wrap this around here. Wire is pretty clean, relatively. Okay, that's a lot of surface area, because this whole wire is uninsulated. It's just bare. So we're going to do that. Okay, now we've got that on there enough. We're going to test it and see how it works. Okay, I turned the truck on. Make sure you plug the connector in under the seat, because I wasn't doing that for a second. Let's try it. Look at that. Look at that. Now I'm just going to let it sit here and idle a minute. We'll see if this element gets warm, which it should start getting warm. Okay, I've been letting it run for a few minutes, and it's definitely working. This doesn't seem to work very well since I've got it flopped up, but the seat back is very, very hot. And if you do the temperature gun on it, you'll see that it's about 94 degrees, where, for example, the headrest is about 70. Like I said, I think this isn't doing so hot because it's not assembled right now. But as you can see, the other side is also working, 76 degrees and climbing. So that's all it took to fix it. Now I'm going to show you how I solder this back, and then we'll reassemble everything and test it out for real. Again, sorry about the angle. It's not the easiest to get a camera in here while I'm working. So what I'm gonna do, got this monster solder iron. You don't need one that's this big. We're just gonna heat this up with some flux on it, get some good wetting action. Okay, now that the joint is soldered, it's got a good solid connection. I wiped it off with the rag. We're gonna slide this over it, heat shrink tubing. As you can see, I did a long piece of heat shrink tubing. I'm gonna slide it all the way up as far as I can. I'm gonna use this hot air gun to shrink down the tubing. You can see it's working fine. What we're gonna do is just hot glue this in here. So we're gonna get this kind of where it needs to go, and we're gonna just jam a little hot glue around it. Get this stuff. Here's what I ended up with. Just a ton of hot glue here, big glob. I hot glued it here as well to reduce the strain on the wires. Now I'm just gonna fold this down, and we're gonna start folding this back into place, and then we should be good to go. Now, getting this back in the groove is kind of tough. I had to fight with this, but all it is a little plastic sleeve. The metal sticks down like this, and the plastic sleeve just grips onto it. And it's kind of tough to get on there. But once you get it on there, it kind of locks in, and it's really not a bad design. It's actually very easy to work with. Mine has a rip here, but I'm just going to live with it. It doesn't matter. Okay, I take back what I said. To get the heated seats to work, both of them, you have to press this button, put it on max. And with that on, this is getting nice and hot. All of it. I thought you had to press this to turn both on, but if you look, it's labeled for both, so that makes more sense. Wasn't too big a deal. Maybe took an hour, and now I have fully functioning front heated seats. Really gonna be nice to have in the winter. I mean, this is a fancy truck after all. May as well have working heated seats, right? Hope this video was helpful to you. I'll see you in the next one. Thanks.